Okay, so let's say once you have 6 to 12 satellites up, one thing I think, as far as I understand it, is that the capacity of the system will be greater. What kind of happens when the capacity of the system for GPS is increased? Does that question make sense?
You're saying as far as, offering a bit better accuracy or a bit better capability?
What I'm kind of getting at is you've mentioned maybe 5G or self-driving cars will be enabled. So maybe it's not necessarily a capacity thing, but more of a timing thing.
Yeah, so I think so the point to your question is, once we have our global timing service in place, then we can provide our timing for many millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of, enterprise user. And eventually, once we get a last mile signal out on a terrestrial, then it's, many, many millions of mobile users.
Mm.
So, that's kind of the reason, one of the things we like about the system we're building. You don't need 300 satellites, 1,000 satellites, 30,000 satellites to do what we need to do. You only need that set number of satellites, and then you can address millions and millions of users around the world with that fundamental small constellation.
Mm.
So, to your point, unlike a communication satellite network or some of these things, as you add more users, you got to kind of tack on more satellites, but that's not the case with our system.
Okay. Okay. And then let's talk about like what this enables that's not currently enabled. So you were saying like self-driving cars. I think in the interview with Space Ventures, you were like, we definitely want to present this to Tesla at some point, that's a goal. So how does this kind of enable that?
Yeah, so this is a little bit further down the road. So the steps we're going in is, hey, we'll provide a timing distribution across fiber networks near term, then one satellite for North America, and then, like you said, half dozen satellites for global timing distribution. But that's only timing. That's only timing for fixed enterprise sites. The next step beyond that then would be a position signal over 5G, over normal cell signals. And then we can address timing for mobile users and position for mobile users. When you think about how GPS works, you need about a half dozen satellites in view to kind of triangulate your position. And that works great when you're cruising down the freeway or if you're out in the middle of open road. But if you're in the middle of a major city, downtown Manhattan, downtown San Francisco, you got these skyscrapers, these urban canyons that block the signal and create multipath. And if you want to have a self-driving car that's truly self-driving, that is your biggest challenge because that's where you need the best location position accuracy with your car is when you're driving down these crowded streets. Being accurate to a meter isn't going to cut it when you're driving in these things.
Could you just explain multipath just for people?
So, you're triangulating your position on the satellites, based on the direct view. But if you're in like a middle of a city, that signal's bouncing off things.
Mhm.
So it kind of adds some length to the distance calculation. It makes you think that the kind of the position, it just messes up the signal a bit, creates some self interference with the original signal. It's just a fundamental RF problem. You just think about like the radio signals bouncing around when you're in, going drive in the middle of skyscrapers,
Mhm.
grades accuracy, and there's just fundamentally nothing you can do about that.
So,
So our
okay,
thought,
go ahead.
so our thought is, I mean, there's papers written about this, so it's not necessarily our initial idea that one thing you do have when you're driving in a big city is access to a lot of local signals.
Mm.
There's a ton of cell sites. There's thousands of cell sites in the Bay Area alone. Um, and you can only imagine when you're driving down the road, how many Wi-Fi signals you are connecting, you can see with your laptop or your phone. So any one of those can be a carrier for that position signal, a carrier for a timing signal. So you can use that. Now you're resolving to dozens of fixed sites to really get that position accuracy that you need for a self-driving vehicle in an urban environment.
Mhm. And so how much does this increase the like resolution of the distance of where they are?
Back of the envelope calculations tell you it's going to be centimeter sub centimeter. So if your car, and that's good enough, right? If you
Yeah,
don't have any car,
what is it right now?
again, if you had open sky, clear view, many, many satellites in view, maybe it's 10, 20 centimeters. But again, in an environment like that, it's probably closer to a meter.
It's
It's
just crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's life and death
here's
for a pedestrian.
yeah, meter. If you're plus or minus a meter, you're hitting a pedestrian on one side or a car on the other side, right?
Yeah.
So it's that's when I did my presentation, I talked a lot about what the timing accuracy enables. And, that's really a key thing, a theme in what we're doing. GPS is out there, it's available, it's been used for decades, but it's hit its ceiling. And we want to enable some of these applications that we believe will just never see the light of day without something like what we're doing.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love that.
Yo, what's up, everyone? I hope you guys enjoyed that clip. I have more clips on the channel, and the full podcast is linked in the description. And I got some more cool interviews coming soon. So I'll see you guys in the future. Peace.